Hello everyone, I'm back here again in the Wide Spectrum channel where we cover a lot of wide range of topics, and more recently I have been covering up in the finance and the stock market. So today we are going to talk about the very popular cannabis share ACB, and we will talk about its prospects, the results, the forthcoming results, and how you are going to play these shares in the near future. So I will start with the most recent quarter, and you need to be aware of a little bit about how its quarter to quarter dates are counted. So the first quarter of 2020, for example, we mean the period from July 2019 to July, August, September 2019. So that will be the first quarter of 2020. And when we say that it's the third quarter of 2020, that means it's the period from January to March 2020. So the next result that's going to come on will be called the fourth quarter of 2020, and that will be from April to June 2020. So that result is going to be announced by around 15th or August, give or take off for a few days here and there, and then we need to be prepared for that. So before we go into that, let's look at the previous quarter, which is quarter 3 of 2020. We had a sale of $78 million, and that was a big improvement over the previous quarter, and the stock market rose because of that good result. So that's good thing about it. What it means is that if with the $78 million, I will round it off to $75 million, we are looking at the current rate a $300 million annual revenue. Now that $300 million annual revenue over the period of 1 year, it translates to over a period of 1 year, it translates to $300 million revenue. And if you multiply it by 3, that comes around to $900 million, or close to $1 billion. And if you look at the current valuation, it's very close to $1.1 billion. So the stock price is fairly valued, and especially if you look at its recent acquisition of Reliva, a Massachusetts-based US company, then that has a current annual revenue of $10 million. So that will add to its revenue and make it a little better. And more importantly, the acquisition of Reliva gives it entry into US to some of the states in United States, and that in future, looking at in the future, gives it potentially more revenue source. So that being said, the ACB stock prices as of now is fairly valued. I won't say it's undervalued, but it's fairly valued, and all depends upon how we are going into the future from here now onward. But the investors' confidence has been broken, because if you look at the last 2 years or so of the stock market prices, the initial hype was that this stock was going to go and rise and can be everywhere in the world, and so on and so forth. So the stock prices was very high as like 8 or 9 times from what it is currently. So obviously a lot of people lost their money, but there is a reason why it makes sense to stay with it for now if you already have the stock, or maybe acquire a little bit of the stock. And one reason is that it's fairly priced. Second reason is its acquisition of Reliva. Other reasons I can think of for ACB is that it still has some steam left to go a little bit higher. And then for that, one promise from ACB is that it is going to be positive EBITDA. It's kind of, we can say that it's progressing towards the profitability, and they say that that is going to happen in the first quarter of 2021, which means that that quarter is going to be from July to September 2020, and that result will be announced around 15th November. So if you have those ACB stock, or if you plan to acquire it, hold it until around 15th November, when the potential positive EBTA can make the stock fly again, at least to some degree. There are some kind of negative things that you should be prepared for. More recently, one stock, AFRIA, that announced its results and it was negative. So the most more recently, as of 30th July, the stocks was again hammered down, going down again at 10 to $21.5. But my expectation is that ACB, I'm hoping it's not as badly affected by this down in the cannabis market, and whatsoever is that it should over the period of time get better. So that's my view about the ACB. I hold some of the ACB shares, and they are a little pricey at from started from 13 or 13 $5 average. And then what I plan to do is plan to use the put sell to potentially acquire more stock of it, if it is in the low tens or something like that, maybe at the strike price of $10 or maybe even $9. $9 will be more to get the premiums if the stock does not hit 9. But again, there is some risk that if the next results, which is in August 15, around August 15, are not favorable, it can go down to as low as $8, $9, or maybe even lower. So with all those things, I am a little positive with the potential of losing maybe 30 or 40%. I hope my analysis is going to be helpful for you. You can subscribe to this wide spectrum channel for more analysis of the stocks like ACB that I have done on this one. Thank you.